Have you ever been allured by the promise that gurus, teachers, and preachers have been espousing on social media about selling digital products, putting on autopilot, and just watching the passive income roll in? No? It can't just be me. When I was at a crossroad in my career, looking to quit my 9-to-5 job to build a life on my terms so that I could travel and run a remote digital business online. I signed up for whatever courses I could, binging tons of YouTube videos, but was quickly realizing a dilemma. These course sellers were making more money teaching how to sell digital products, not actually selling digital products. Because I'd never stopped to ask, they were doing so well selling a digital product, why were they wasting their time teaching anyone else about it? But just like the thousands of others, I failed to have that critical thinking. I was suckered into the dream of building a digital product. See, early this week, I was asked by a legend of our community for some help in creating a low-ticket digital product that sells in high volume. And in case you missed it, right underneath this video is a link where you can get my help in under 90 seconds. And at the time of this recording, my hourly consulting rate is $400. So this is a way of getting it free, no strings attached. Click on the link underneath this video. I saw a younger version of myself asking this question. I'm making this video to save my friend and my younger self and you watching this years worth of agony and U-turns, because you might be asking, how am I qualified to speak about this? Last year, while traveling as a digital nomad with my partner across North America, my business generated over $200,000 selling digital products, not the ones you're thinking of. Because it is my mission that by the end of this video, you're thinking about digital products differently when there's a simpler and more obvious path laid right in front of you. So what is this path? Well, in 2019, Nathan Barry, founder of Kit.com, one of the world's largest email platforms specifically focused for creators running businesses. The article was titled Ladders of Wealth. I'll never forget the day I read it. It's like the cogs in my brain were turning over. It laid out a metaphorical and practical journey in how to build wealth. So to save you from reading it, here's my story, as well as my journey across these 4 ladders to help you identify where you're at and if building a digital product is the opportunity that best reflects where you're currently at in this journey. Ladder number 1 is trading time for money. This is where we all start, and there's absolutely nothing wrong if you're at this stage right now. For me, I started with simple errands, helping some of the neighbors with their weeding, babysitting, tutoring, being a basketball referee, getting my first job working at a fast food restaurant while at university, and then eventually graduating and having a salaried role at both Uber and Google in the first 6 years of my professional career. Now, it's the most accessible one, and for most people, this is more than enough. But if you have ambitions of exponentially increasing your income, there are a couple of challenges here. Number 1, you don't directly control your hourly rate. This is often preset according to your employer, whatever the industry standards or averages are, or whatever was negotiated at the start of your agreement. Now, sure, you can negotiate, have promotions, or expect that there will be 2 to 3% annual salary increases to match with inflation. But you can't walk up to your employer and demand a 50% pay rise tomorrow. You probably get told to eat dirt and to get back to your job. Number 2, the other dilemma is there is a 1-for-1 marriage between your time and the money that you earn. If you're on an hourly rate, then the most you can earn is the number of hours you can give. Now, I don't know about you, but most humans can't really functionally work more than 8 to 16 hours. You're working for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You're probably going to run yourself into exhaustion. You're limited by the maximum number of hours you can work or that your employer allows you to work, which leads to the third dilemma, the one that I saw in my career. When I looked up at the managers and those a lot more senior in my organizations, I realized that sure, while they may have been earning more than I was on an annual basis, they actually had less time than I did because in many instances, they were working longer hours and often on the weekends, cutting into their well-being, into their social life, and their actual ability to enjoy the money that they were earning. And depending on where you are in the world, individual tax brackets mean that the more income you earn, the more the tax man actually takes from you. And so often you may be working more for incrementally less money. And so you're not necessarily having a linear return on the amount of input that you're providing. So if you're in this position, just like I was a few years ago, you might be stuck thinking, how the heck do I earn more if I can't control these variables? And that's why for many people, the next step they consider is self-employment, taking the skills they've learned from the first ladder, but doing it under their own name or their own business in ladder number 2, a service-based business. Now, this can be a freelancer or being a consultant or running an agency. You may initially start by doing hourly work for your clients. But the difference here is you have the power to set the hourly rate. But you're starting out and you have no audience, no social proof, or no results to talk to. It can be really hard differentiating or charging a premium price, one that's higher than what your employer had. And that's what happened to me. When I left my previous 6-figure job in tech, I was earning between $60 to $70 per hour. I don't know the exact number on me right now. But when I first started reaching out to try to get my first few clients as a social media manager stroke video content freelancer, I charged myself at $40 an hour. So I wish I could jump in a time machine or just reach through the screen and shake some sense into my younger self. Because even though I picked up my first 2 to 3 clients, I was scattering myself across multiple clients, earning less per hour when I was in a better position at ladder number 1, working for an higher hourly rate for just one employer. That's when I learned it wasn't sustainable and I wasn't going to progress from ladder 2. I know a lot of professionals I've spoken to want to skip this stage, but there are so many lessons you learn by working hand to hand with clients. You learn what work you enjoy doing, how to set boundaries, how to manage times when the scope creeps and they're asking for more changes or more revisions terms than what you agreed to, how to invoice, write emails, follow up, schedule and manage projects, as well as getting your portfolio of results or work that you can use to pitch future clients where you can put your prices up. And I think such an underrated part of this stage is figuring out who you enjoy working with or who you enjoy serving, because you can't come out the gate knowing exactly which niche of client or which industry in particular you enjoy working with. I had to go through a couple of bad apples until I found my diamonds in the rough, and I dialed in and refined bit by bit who were the kind of clients that I'd say yes to. And let me tell you, having worked with a number of incompatible clients, it's night and day working with a dream client versus a nightmare client. At least in my experience, the dream clients are the ones trust your judgment, invest in your expertise, and give you autonomy and agency to do what you believe is going to lead to the best result. The toughest clients are the ones I found that micromanage, expect the world from you, are always trying to ask for a discount, aren't great with their communication or expectations, or the ones that just make your stomach tie in a knot every time you think about picking up a phone or jumping on a call to them. And in fact, this was the stage I was at in 2021 and 2022. Started freelance and had a full spectrum of clients I work with doing a full spectrum of work. But the problem was, because I was working on my own and I kept changing the work that I was doing, I had no consistency or no capacity to scale what I was doing. This is the same time I came across the work of Naval Ravikant, a serial entrepreneur who popularized an ethos of productizing yourself, figuring out what are the unique skills, the things that feel like hard work to others but is play to you, that you can package and serve through your business entity that is uniquely suited to who you are, which also happens to be the name of ladder number 3, productize services. This is when you go from trying to serve everyone and doing everything to pre-packaging a set solution, transformation, or specific result for a client that you're working with. Think about when you go down to the shops, buy a box of cereal, or you buy an iPhone. In the cereal box, you get the same product and the same volume packaged up. Or with an iPhone, you'll have the same features, same capacity, and same functions depending on the model that you've got. In my instance, when I studied and looked at the clients that I enjoyed working with the most, that were willing to pay the most for my expertise, were the ones that wanted me to produce educational video content. They're across 3 niches that I was personally familiar with, which was travel, tech, and e-commerce. So rather than limiting or burning myself out on an hourly rate, I instead packaged up a preset number of videos that I would provide over a set period of time. So for example, 5 YouTube videos over a 1-month period, or 10 vertical videos over a 4-week period. That way I was selling a clear result or an outcome to my clients, and that incentivized me to get faster and more efficient with my process. I started using templates in my video editing workflows and with my pre-production in Notion. I was able to clearly communicate what clients did and didn't get. So the more projects I did, the more efficient I got, and my hourly rate was effectively going up. Because please note, because at this stage, you are never talking to your clients about your hourly rate. You're just talking about the outcome they get. And remember, one of the most valuable aspects of the delivery of a product is that you can get it faster rather than slower. That means you're now going to work to try and remove as many bottlenecks as you can, whether you outsource, delegate, automate, or systemize as many things as you can. That was the unlock that helped my business earn over $200,000 while I was traveling. I was selling productized consulting and productized done-for-you video services to a number of clients while abroad. And the really cool thing about this is you don't need dozens of clients or a crazy team or an agency if you don't want to. I did this with some occasional outsourced support with video editing, and even my partner helped me with some pre-production tasks such as scheduling or itinerary planning when it came to producing videos. But other than that, it was mostly a one-person operation because I dialed and refined this process in over and over again. So just to recap, ladder number 1 is trading time for money. This is being a salaried employee or an hourly worker. Ladder number 2 is running a services business. This is most likely being an hourly rate. You could either be a tradie or a creative freelancer that is on a marketplace where you charge by the hour of how long it takes you to complete a task. It's great when you're getting started and great to get one-to-one experience with your clients. But just like the natural limit in ladder number 1, you're going to cap out at the number of hours you're at. And even if you keep pushing your hourly rate up, you're going to get to a stage where you may not be able to just keep pushing that price up. Ladder number 3, the ladder I'm currently at, and the one that I help create as bridge from ladder number 2 to ladder number 3 is productized services. Selling pre-packaged, systemized outcomes to your clients. And the pro tip is to position them so that they're recurring services. They're not just a one and done. They're something that a client would need on a recurring basis, whether it's maintenance, ongoing videos, tweaking and experimentation, so that you can actually extend how much revenue you have. Instead of having to keep attracting and closing new clients every single month, you can just work with a handful of existing ones that know you and trust you to deliver the same result on a month-to-month basis, while also giving them the capacity to pause your work at any point, or for you to pause the work if you want to take some time off. And so to bring it to the 4th and final ladder, selling products. Now, selling products, physical or digital, especially especially at a lower price point, is an incredibly hard nut to crack because you need one of two things. One, a unique and remarkable product that is differentiated, defensible against others trying to replicate, and clearly provides results that others haven't been able to. And number two, a lot of traffic. That is a lot of eyeballs, whether they're through organic or paid media, that is driving to your checkout page or driving to your online shop for people to convert and to purchase. I'm not saying it's impossible, but there's a reason why Nathan Barry, who is currently in the 4th ladder and has been spending over a decade of his life building towards it, lays it out in this diagram. It is very hard to skip to it straight away.
People jump too soon to selling products. The bar for what you create is much higher. Whereas if I did a consulting package on that topic, I can learn how to sell it, how to package it, all of that as a productized service without doing all of this work to, spend 500 hours or whatever writing the book.
In fact, the mistake I made years ago was trying to launch digital products without any clue of how to make them. I came in with blind naivety and optimism that if I just put something on the internet and put it in front of my immediate community, then I'd be financially independent and sipping on cocktails in the Bahamas. And I could not have been further from the truth.
Because I think what most people do is they say, I want to sell a product, and so I need to then first make it. And so you're like, okay, it's a book. I'm going to spend all of this time writing and creating this thing. And then they go to market with it and no one buys it because they don't actually know all of the skills of packaging, positioning, pricing, driving traffic, how and where to sell it, and everything else.
And that's why when you follow the journey of most founders, you'll see that the arc of their career was going from ladders 1 to ladder 4. Don't compare their ladder 4 to your ladder 1, 2, or 3 if you're still in that process. But I do want to provide some hope for you. See, everything that you've learned in ladder 1, 2, and 3 has formed the foundation for ladder number 4. You'll have been working closely and packaging up systems and solutions for a set or niche of clients consistently. You'll have made documents, templates, resources, you may have recorded tutorials, you may have made guides, you may have helped people do it through coaching and consulting and replicate the result at scale. And if you've been sharing your work, sharing what you've been learning, and building an audience online on a social media platform, whether it's Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn, Substack, or X, you'll now have an audience of potential customers and clients that know what you do, see your authority, have connected with you, and trust you to be the one that can help them get the same outcome. So while most of your audience probably won't be able to afford your done-for-you services or your productized services, and they may not opt for your done-with-you, for example, a coaching or consulting program where you help others get the same result, at this stage, you'll have received all the research, all the feedback, and all the testimonials that you're capable of packaging it into a digital product, giving someone a result that they can do in their own time. Times like this when you can put it up as a course, a template, an ebook, or some kind of resource where someone can take it and consistently get the same result that you got in your area of expertise. I'm currently in the process of swinging to ladder 4 because of the results I was able to get from my own business last year after failing and struggling as a freelancer on ladder 2 and then eventually getting the unlock to help me move to ladder 3. I want to help others a few steps behind me achieve the same result. And that's what I'm dedicated to in these videos, this channel, and with the resources that I've included right underneath this video. And if you find you're on ladder 2 and you're struggling to move to ladder 3, I've made this video to help you package up your expertise and start selling productized services. So I'll see you there, my friend.